This is Greg Fowler for Online London, and I'm with Ma'in Sinan, who is a candidate for mayor in the City of London. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
If elected, how many hours per week on average do you expect that you'll spend working in your elected capacity?
Full time.
Do you think ward councillors are currently paid enough for the amount of work that they'll do during the next term of City Council?
Based on their performance, they receive more than enough.
London's governance model is currently undergoing significant change, and that includes the elimination of the Board of Control. Do you think that this will increase the necessity for ward councillors to inform themselves about issues outside of their own ward boundaries?
Absolutely.
Do you live within the geographical boundaries of the electoral area in which you are contesting this election?
Yes.
How many of your post-teenage years have you lived in London?
3.
Have you attended any standing committee meetings over the course of the past 4 years?
Yes.
Have you attended any Board of Control meetings over the last 4 years?
No.
Are you familiar with the Municipal Act and the Municipal Councillor's Guide?
Yes.
The Strengthening Neighbourhoods Task Force recommended development of a neighbourhood matching fund type program for large and small community projects other than celebrations or events. Do you support that recommendation?
Yes.
What maximum per project amount do you think would be appropriate for the city to contribute?
I'm not sure exactly.
Do you support development of a community program to fund the creation of public art in public places?
Yes.
Should the City of London and its boards and commissions embrace the concept of making their data open and accessible to everyone as often as is possible, and adopting open standards for that data?
Accountability, yes.
When existing software applications have to be replaced or when software licenses have to be renewed, should the city adopt the use of open source software whenever that's possible?
Yes.
Is the city's communication department being given enough resources, money and personnel to properly maintain the city website and to inform citizens in a timely fashion?
I don't think so.
Should citizens be able to subscribe to subject-specific RSS feeds from City Hall in order to stay informed?
Yes.
Should citizens be able to download the agendas of upcoming public meetings, including advisory committee meetings, at least a week in advance?
Absolutely.
Despite the requirement of the Municipal Act that all City Hall meetings be public, except for specific reasons, it's been argued that they most often are not because of the inability of the public to hear what's being said. Do you support the adoption of a policy which mandates the use of microphones in all public meetings at City Hall?
To a certain extent, yes.
Do you think that the City of London ought to be webcasting all of its public meetings?
Yes.
Should all of the city's boards and commissions be webcasting all of their public meetings?
Yes.
Should the chairpersons of public meetings at City Hall have to announce motions and amendments to motions and the number of votes for and against those motions so that the public can understand what's taking place?
Yes.
Should London hire an Auditor General?
Yes.
Should homeowners have to pay a percentage of the cost for the repair of damage to underground infrastructure on their own property that has been caused by city-owned trees?
No.
Do you agree with the placemaking concept of neighborhood gateways?
I'm not sure.
Should there be increased user representation on the London Transit Commission?
I will pass this one.
If the City of London is going to provide venture capital to businesses, should the city be guaranteed a return on its investment in the event that those businesses become profitable?
Absolutely.
Should people be allowed to naturalize their lawns?
I will pass this one.
Are London's pedestrians and pedestrian issues sufficiently represented at City Hall?
No.
The traffic and parking bylaw prohibits people from using any sidewalk for any purpose other than pedestrian traffic, except as specifically permitted. Should downtown patios, which consume most of the width of the public sidewalk, be permitted?
Yes.
When closure of a public sidewalk for construction purposes takes place, what steps should be required to ensure that pedestrians are not forced out onto the roadway in a manner which puts them at risk?
Maximum. We do maximum in order to help the pedestrians.
Is the warranted sidewalk program sufficiently funded?
No.
Is the warranted walkway program sufficiently funded?
No.
Old unlit streets are not lit unless there's a local improvement program application and a cost-sharing agreement amongst owners. Do you agree with that policy?
No.
Do you think that special funding ought to be provided to London Police for the purchase of additional Speedwatch radar trailers and the cost of having the auxiliary police section deploy them on a frequent basis?
Yes.
Should the city be spending as much as it is per year from the federal gas tax to construct on-road bike lanes in London?
Yes.
Should bicycles be allowed on public sidewalks?
Yes.
Should persons in motorized wheelchairs and other mobility devices that are on the public sidewalk be obliged to yield for pedestrians?
To a certain extent, yes.
Should the city install more bike racks?
Yes.
Is theft of bikes an important issue?
Yes.
Do you have any suggestions about what might be done to combat that problem?
Awareness.
Is the city spending enough money to promote its web-based ride match service?
No.
Should there be dedicated and discounted carpool parking spaces on downtown streets and in city-owned lots?
Yes.
Should every signalized London intersection provide advanced left turns?
I will pass that.
Does the City of London currently provide sufficient funding for the Community Gardens program?
No.
Do you think that all dogs ought to be muzzled when they're not on their owner's property?
I will pass that.
Should dogs be allowed at community events?
No.
Should people be able to raise chickens in their backyards?
I will pass that.
That ends the question and answer interview. Thanks for your cooperation.
Thank you for having me.